You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So another caveat that I'm going to throw at you all. Typically, our stories are very straightforward stories, right? So you heard two, they're first-person narratives, and we love when they are very honest and genuine, and those are the greatest of stories. But every once in a while, we get to mix it up. So we are going to do this in a musical fashion, and this is called An Ending is a Beginning by Leah Bomar. A hurricane and a blizzard, an ending and a beginning. One cleared me out, stripped my humility bare. The other encased me in bliss, filling the uprooted spaces with myself. Endings are hurricane surges, wiping out existing establishments and structures that were never meant to be permanent. The subsequent flood washed away mountains and people and parts of my soul, perhaps parts of my lineage that had overstayed their welcome. I knowingly headed into the storm to attend an outdoor yoga festival for the weekend, despite the definiteness of the forecast. I camped and lived, and parts of me came alive in that field in the middle of the woods on the side of Terrapin Hill. A part of me would die on that hill too. The rain started on a Thursday and ended on a Sunday with a rainbow, of course. The promise of a new day, a new era ushered in by nature's rage against the machine of humanity and ancestral clearing out. Less than 8 hours into the storm, it's obvious that the way my tent is threatening to collapse, that this is not a location where I will be riding out a multi-day weather event. I feel a little silly for trying. I venture out into the unknown. The thin material had provided dryness, at least, despite the disappearing illusion of protection. In the darkness of Mother Nature's womb, I am exposed. At 2 a.m. in a hurricane, I alone break down the dwellings of my heart. Alone, but not afraid. I am surprised to channel protected empowerment. I am being forged by wind, water, earth, fire. And I realize not only can I do hard things, I am the hard thing, melting soft. I am washing away with pain, with pleasure. Replacing my trauma with pleasure. I am creating a treasure map to new beginnings. Forward, up. I make the path by walking. In the complete darkness, there is a stillness to the storm. The trees bent and branches flew, the creek swelled, and the rain became a permanent fixture. There was no waning or subsiding. It only grew with intensity. Sheets of rain were more like solid walls of water. It was like living underwater, existing in a snow globe that had not been shaken up yet, just filled to capacity with what is. The occasional air bubble pops to the top as it's searching for air, searching for a way out. And I didn't know then I wouldn't come up for air for 3 months, until the new year dawns and blesses me with the wintering of myself, allowing new life to miraculously bloom through the ice. We lived in unrelenting rain for days, 4 days and 4 nights straight. No wonder when Noah's Ark experienced 10 times more than that, the world flooded. The world is always flooding, burning, freezing, fawning. There are natural cycles to nature, natural endings and beginnings that sometimes flow so seamlessly we barely notice the changeover until we're deep into it. But sometimes the starkness of the next cycle arrives so abruptly that what we left behind of the past will never be again, and all that's left is embracing what's present now. At the festival, there were no indoor areas to seek shelter in the retreat property, just a large open-air pavilion with a makeshift hearth built in the heart of the stone slab dance floor. All hours of the day and night, a never-ending swath of community members sought shelter and sat vigil, freely offering up the best hugs a human can imagine. The sky speaks to me, even if I can't see through it, the clouds and the rain. Nature is always speaking to us if we tune in and listen. Say less, it says. Be more. I became a student of the water, a witness to the wind, a keeper of earth's secrets, a sorcerer of the fire, kept burning through the night by human touch and compassion, an internal lighthouse of survival, holding the line of revival. We waded in the water and emerged, baptized by the storm. My path to hurricane to harmony. And when the sun appears midday Sunday, the sky is brilliant blue, and I just know a rainbow looms, even if I can't see it yet. And my womb aches instinctively with the washing out of who I was before, as if my body knows that my son is now the one in peril. I return from the transformative space of cultivated peace to the chaos of my life back home. Within the minutes of stepping through the door, I am whirled into a tornado of literal psychosis. Before I have the chance to integrate all the changes I just navigated through, my boat is capsized by the intensity of a storm of a different kind. There's no life raft. We are all tossed into a roiling sea. The gates of hell have unleashed insanity on my family. The suffering of a child is kryptonite to a mom's heart. I am gutted. I am emptied out further, and my chest is heavy with the hollowness of despair. I ask for and receive prayers that carry me through the most excruciating time of my life. Their faith words and acts of kindness acts as spiritual lantern, just like the candle I light each night for my son, so he can find his way back to his body, back to his home. My love is a navigational beacon, forever blinking. The force of my tears carve grand canyons through my fears, and the landscape of my heart will never be the same. I can't breathe for months. The air is stuck on the inhale, and I am waiting to exhale. And then without preparation it comes. A surprise aurora borealis, swaths of wonder and hope, a galaxy of possibility peeking through a dark Indiana sky, the northern lights in the south, the beginning of the end. By the time the blizzard of bliss arrives, the fresh calendar year is shiny and new, and so am I. As Los Angeles begins to burn, so do I. But I don't even try to stop it. I wouldn't dare. The phoenix fire I feel leaping from deep inside soothes my soul, and I let the fire of a new beginning engulf me. That electric pulse traveling at lightning speed from sacral crown and back down, a circuit jolt of anticipatory pleasure with the promise of eruption. The feeling of being alive. I'm alive. I'm aligned. I allow myself to be enchanted by my own beauty. I'm not simply renewed or born again. I'm an entirely different person. Life is overflowing with meaning, connection, love, and I am in love. I deep dive into myself, and I don't need to come up for air because I'm not sinking, I'm floating. I'm not falling, I'm soaring. I trust, I surrender. And if that was the end, then this is the beginning. My imagination has manifested a world around me full of magic. A monumental quantum rewrite has occurred. My family heals forward together. We joyously sign new soul contracts on the dotted line with glittery golden ink of unconditional love. Past karmas are cleared and released, null and void. We are forgiven. We forgive each other. We forgive ourselves. Our reality is recalibrated. My dream and devotion to self come together to allow my life to overflow now with meaning. Happiness isn't a big enough word. It feels so good to sink in, riding ripples that refuse to stop coming, and I don't care how much time passes, alternating between fire and ice, beginning and endings. I am there. I am here. I am eternal bliss. I am home and far, far away at the exact same time. I wake up in paradise every day. This new plane of existence is magnificent, and it's the place we can finally see ourselves through the living evidence of our creations. And I never want to leave. I stare into the broken glass of my past, chiseled out from under the ice to reveal spiderweb cracks I will not be entangled in again. And I learn to see myself through the experiences and people around me as life force energy manifested. There is nowhere I need to be except right here, right now, dancing to the rhythm of a new beginning, a prayer of reclamation, an act of recognition. An ending is a beginning.